Right to be Read podcast, episode number 85.
Did you know there's a new place to sell your audiobooks besides ACX and Audible? There is, Buck Books. Authors, I know most of your audiobooks are sold exclusively through ACX, but on any new books you have, a one-day sales pit stop at Buck Books is a no-brainer. When your narrator finishes your audiobook, send us the files and we will feature it to tens of thousands of our active subscribers and growing for one day only. You get some great sales, and the very next day you can upload it exclusively to ACX. This is a great way to help offset the cost of production on a new audiobook and start building a strong relationship with the world's hottest free book promotion service, Buck Books. Not sure how to go about getting your book made into an audiobook or having trouble deciding if audiobook production is right for you? With an audiobook team of 10 and the lowest production cost around, Buck Books is ready to help you finally add this lucrative format to your author portfolio and sell it too. For more information, send an email to john@buckbooks.net. That's John, John, @buckbooks.net.
You are listening to the Right to be Read podcast, and this is your host, Ani Alexander.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Right to be Read podcast. I'm your host, Ani Alexander, and this one is a pretty spontaneous episode. I came up with the topic just a few minutes ago and decided to share my thoughts with you in today's release. So, today I will be talking to you about waiting. I personally hate waiting. Waiting puts me into vulnerable situation. When I'm waiting for something, it feels like I do accept the fact that the thing won't happen until a certain period of time is passed. It makes me feel weak. It makes me feel as if things depend on anything else but me. From the very young age, we are taught to wait. We had to wait for the dinner, so after that only we could eat the dessert, right? We had to wait until we grew up, because there were so many things we could do only then. That was why I impatiently wanted to grow up fast when I was a child. The grown-up life seemed so attractive back then. And once we grow up, we end up waiting on a bigger scale. We keep postponing things for later. We postpone building our dreams, following our passion, getting rid of certain things that make our life miserable. We wait for the right time to start doing things that we'd like to do. How many times have you heard the phrases like, as soon as the kids grow up, when I have more time, when I find a well-paid job, as soon as we pay the mortgage? Well, the sad thing is that very often we and that right time never meet up. Just like the horizon. We keep walking towards it, but the distance between us seems to stay the same. The reality proves that you will never have the ideal conditions. There will never be the perfect moment. Life will continue getting on the way, and things will keep happening. There will always be new things coming between you and your plans. Always. How can you be so sure about the future? How can you take the risk of putting off the things that are important to you? What if that right moment never arrives? What if something happens in between? Why do we think that the time is not precious? Why do we often start living only after a major paradigm shift? Do we have to survive an accident or get a cancer or lose a close one in order to understand that there is no sense to lose time waiting? You may say that you've got too many obligations and time-consuming responsibilities. And I won't argue back. And not because I know you, because most probably I don't. But I won't argue back because we all do have those obligations and responsibilities. Do you think that all the successful people were completely free, with no family, no money issues, no problems at all? Well, I have to disappoint you there. Most of the successful people were exactly in your shoes before. They too had things to deal with. They too had not have the ideal time to take action. But the difference is, they did not wait. They did not sit and wait for the perfect moment. They did not wait until they have time. They made time for the things which were important to them. When I meet new people and they find out I'm a writer, many of them tell, "Oh, I want to write a book too one day." One day. One day? Which day? Do you think you will ever get completely free 6 months to sit alone in a forest hut and write that book? You think you will wake up from a knock on the door, and when you open it, you will see that one day on your doorway saying, "I've come, so you can start now." Well, something tells me that might not really happen. So, what if instead of waiting for that one day, you start now? Sooner you start, bigger the chances that you'll actually make it happen. But if you keep sticking to that dangerous future tense, you will risk staying where you are now forever. So just think about this. Do you really want to let your entire life become a waiting room? No? Well, if no, then stop waiting and start acting. And I guess that's all I had in mind today, and I truly wish that you will not be sitting and waiting for that perfect one day, and will be making things happen and succeeding instead. So have a great weekend and take action.